Only the pro-Palestinian movement will ever save the Israeli hostages in Gaza. Human rights activists still care about the Israeli families hoping for the safe return of their loved ones. Netanyahu and his cronies don't care. 251 hostages were captured by Hamas on October the 7th and taken to Gaza. Reportedly, Israel has been trying to rescue them ever since. Even if one chooses to set aside the ethically questionable Hannibal Directive, which led to the IDF directing gunfire at its own citizens in an effort to prevent them being captured, the rescue operations have not been going well. Since October the 7th, Israel has dropped 75,000 plus tons of bombs on Gaza, effectively demolishing an entire city, unleashed one of the largest and most well-equipped armies in the world upon a defenceless city of mostly women and children, using tanks, drones, armoured vehicles, bombs, fighter jets, missiles, white phosphorus, artillery and sniper rifles, to name but a few of the items from their vast US-supplied arsenal. Destroyed every scrap of civilian infrastructure they could find in Gaza, including hospitals, schools, mosques, refugee camps, bakeries, utilities and roads. Arrested and tortured tens of thousands of Palestinians without charge. Killed journalists, aid workers, ambulance drivers, doctors and paramedics. And been seen to be guilty by billions across the world of every crime against humanity that we have a law for. After 10 months of constant live-streamed horror from Gaza that has seen upwards of 186,000 people killed in indiscriminate Israeli bombing campaigns and horrifying Israeli massacres, just how many hostages has the IDF managed to rescue? 7. Conservative estimates of Israeli military losses in Gaza begin at 681. Of the 251 hostages originally taken to Gaza, 109 remain, with 105 being returned via negotiations and 30 recovered dead by the IDF. 3 were killed by Israeli fire, and an unknown number, including those still in Gaza, have been killed in Israeli airstrikes. I strongly suspect that at least 250,000 people will be found dead in Gaza in the end, buried under rubble, shoved into mass graves and killed via deliberate starvation, dehydration and the wholesale destruction of Gaza's healthcare system. While Israel has been chillingly efficient at killing Palestinian civilians and demolishing Gaza, they never really wanted to save the hostages. They are of far more use to Netanyahu et al. Unrescued. Israel has weaponized the October the 7th attacks so as to turn Gaza into an extermination camp, and the hostages are part of that, just as it has long weaponized the Holocaust to justify its crypto-fascist atrocities. Israel will leave every stone unturned in the search for a ceasefire agreement, as will the US. Ironically, Israel's hostages will only be returned if the global pro-Palestinian movement for human rights forces Netanyahu to recognise the human value of the Palestinians and the Israelis still trapped and starving inside Gaza. Since neither the current genocidal Israeli government or their enablers in the West place any intrinsic value on human life, who else will care about the hostages? To put the matter clearly, one should never send a fascist army to do the job of moral, compassionate human beings.